I'm totally afraid. I'm afraid of everything. I'm afraid of losing. I'm afraid of being humiliated. But I'm totally confident. The closer I get to the ring, the more confidence I get. The closer, I'm more confident.
The new definition of confidence. Confidence is the willingness to try.
My confidence comes from both my faith and in the fact that I keep promises I make to myself.
Borrow confidence from the past.
Confidence.
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 Hi. Hi. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Glad to be interviewed.
Thank you. Like they want to say hi to you.
Let me put on my headphones to say hi.
Okay.
Hey guys.
Hi.
What's your name?
My name is Rupika.
Sí, ya. Ven, para que la conozca. Ven. Hold on 1 second.
Okay. Hello?
Hey, you can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Sorry about that. Yeah, so how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I just finished wrapping up. I had another Zoom call interview class that I was doing. But I had the time now, so I wanted to jump on and see if we can do it.
Thank you so much. And how was your day?
What's up?
How was your day till now?
It just started. It's only going to be 12 o'clock now, so it just started.
It's 9 p.m. in the night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But let's jump into it. How may I be of service?
Yes. I saw your recent videos and I noticed that you are not very active on the YouTube from the past 2 months.
Yeah. So that was, I don't know if you noticed now, but I've been uploading a lot more.
Yeah.
I've been trying to focus on that, but just in case.
I watched your recent interview with Chad.
Yeah, he's a great guy, Chad. His book is amazing. Great interview. I learned a lot from him. Just in case, I don't know if you're going to share this or not, but for anybody that's watching, I'm in the middle of revamping myself and revamping what I'm doing in terms of content and mission and things like that. Just to kind of save time. Before, I was a little bit all over the place with quotes and tweets and different things like that. But now it's more of just getting back into structure, focusing on the interview show. So if you see me not posting as often on YouTube, don't worry, it's gonna come back. So, but yeah, I appreciate the time. I appreciate you checking out the videos, and I'm here to help you out in any way.
Yes, and how was the situation, and how are you coping up with the current situation out there?
Got it. So please forgive me, just because I want to pronounce your name right. Can you please pronounce your name for me?
Revathi.
One more time.
Revathi.
Naroti? Oh, Revathi.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So Revathi, yeah, I mean, I'm here in New York City, so you're all the way in India. I'm not sure how it is in India right now, but here in New York City, where I live in New York, COVID-19 or coronavirus, however you want to call it, has made a huge impact. You can choose to see it how you want it, but it has affected a lot of businesses. A lot of people have been laid off. A lot of people's hours have been cut. And then obviously people have been passing away due to the virus. People's families, things like that. Finances have been hurt a lot. Economy, I can go on and on and on.
Yes.
But I think you can choose to look at it however you want, negative or positive. And obviously, I'm no one to say if somebody passed away, if somebody's watching this and somebody passed away in your life due to coronavirus, I'm not. It would be dumb for me to say I understand, but I think that this whole pandemic, you can still see it as something positive. You can still be grateful. Just because you can use this time to work on yourself, to spend with your family, to revamp yourself like I'm doing right now. But yeah, so it's been interesting. New York City, I've never seen New York City in my life like this. The streets are empty. Nobody's outside. The trains are not running as often. Businesses are closed. I don't know if you've been in New York City before, but
And I'm
just
watching the
nothing open.
news. I'm
Yeah, there's
following.
nothing
Yes.
open. Nothing is open. It's just weird. It's weird. Sorry, it's weird, but it's okay. We're gonna get through this, and hopefully, I think they extended it to like the 14th or 15th of May. It'll be over, or at least
But it
start to
is
come
like
down.
a busiest city in the
Yeah,
United States, right?
exactly. It's just weird to see that. It's weird to go from traffic every day and a lot of people to nobody outside, and you can't even go eat in a restaurant. You can't go to a store. You can't go buy clothing because everything is just closed. And then on top of that, you have to wear the mask. You have to wear the gloves. It's just weird. It's weird all around, but it's okay. It's all good.
I also learned from your video that you were working for 3 days. So
Yes.
I saw your gratitude video.
Yeah. I appreciate that, and I'm glad it was of value to you. But yeah, my hours have been cut. For those of you that don't know, I work. Uh, my full-time job. I work in a hotel in the hospitality industry, and the hospitality industry has been hit very hard.
Yes.
So restaurants, hotels, things like that. So because of the lack of business, a lot of hotels and businesses have been forced, or they chosen to cut down on employment and cut people's hours and lay off people just so that they can recuperate a little bit. But yeah, that's it. We're being forced to do things that I didn't get hired to do, right? Like take out the garbage, laundry, housekeeping, stuff like that. I work in the front desk. I don't do that stuff. But all of humility, and that's totally fine. Nothing to worry about.
But I also watched one of your videos saying that you help with the picking up the garbage. And
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, so that's important because I think a lot of people confuse gratitude with liking something,
Yes.
and that's so not true. Just because you don't like something, it doesn't mean that you're not for it. Like obviously the garbage stinks, right? I had to sweat in my uniform. I didn't have the proper uniform to take out the garbage. I wasn't flexible, right? It was a button-down shirt. I was sweating. It was stinky. I didn't get hired to take out the garbage or to do houseman work or housekeeping. Not that that's bad. It's not bad. In fact, I did that for most of my life. But I'm grateful that I was still thought of to still work in the hotel, right? That I still have an income,
Yes.
that I'm still able to work, that I'm still able to serve the company, a company that I've been working for the last 4 years, and take out the garbage. And you know what? This is only going to be temporary. There's not a whole life thing, right? If it was a life
Yes.
thing, then I have to think about what I'm going to do. But it was just I'm still doing it today. I'm still taking out the garbage. I'm still doing things like that. It's just a moment of understanding, okay, I don't like what's going on right now, but I'm still grateful that I'm waking up today. I'm still grateful that I'm able to serve, and I'm still grateful to have a job.
And what have you learned from this whole scenario of a COVID-19?
The biggest
Whether
thing
it
with
comes to regarding the mindset or anything.
the biggest thing that this whole COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic has been um, uh, affecting or causing is fear. A lot of people have fear and they're causing them to panic. So when you panic, you're not really thinking, and you go ahead and you buy 1,000 toilet paper. I don't know why people were doing that, but toilet paper, you go and they're buying in bulk, and they're you should see the
Yes.
lines here in the supermarket. They're crazy. You have to wait hours and hours to go and buy just, hey, I ran out of ham. Let me go buy some ham. You can't even do that because people are just going crazy right now. So that's what's going on. A lot of people are just letting the fear overtake their life, which is causing them to behave like that. And then on the more aggressive side, you have people that are fighting. You have people that are they're committing acts of racism. Just because you're Asian, it doesn't mean that it's your fault, or you don't know the full story. So a lot of people are doing that here in the States. I'm sure in other countries as well.
Yes.
But that's been the biggest thing that I've seen
Even here
with
in
this whole
India, it's
pandemic.
going on.
Yeah, I'm more scared of not the virus. If you're 6 feet, if you're
Mm-hmm.
protecting yourself, if you're doing those things, you're gonna be fine. But the what I'm trying to say is that people are they're being unpredictable right now. They're
Mm-hmm.
really acting very aggressive, and they're letting that fear overtake them, and that's what it's a little concerning. But other than that, it's okay.
And also, I saw in the news many people are coming out on the roads and they're saying we want to go to work again.
Yeah, I don't get that either. I'm in the same boat as you. A lot of people are just protesting, like, open
Yes,
up the
that.
state, open up the country, back to work, open up the business. And I don't, in my personal opinion, I could be wrong, but I don't think that that's a smart move, just because, if this virus is out there and it's still, I mean, it's declining now in New York City. That it just hit the curve. But I don't think we should open it up that soon. Maybe another month or two. Again, I'm no expert, so please, do your research and stuff. But yeah, a lot of people are doing that. I just think that people are acting out of ignorance. They just don't know. They're being selfish and going back to fear. They just have fear. What if I go out of business? What if I lose my business? What if I lose my job? What if I can't pay or maintain my family? Or what if I don't have food? Things like that.
Have you ever got those kind of thoughts like when you started hearing about this?
I not to speak like, oh, look at me, I'm so cool. I don't want to say that, but since day one of this whole thing and then until now, I have still had the same mindset. I still
Okay.
had the same mindset. Um, the only thing was that I took a little longer to, like, put the gloves on and put the mask on, because I was like, oh my God. But overall, at a macro level, I I'm doing my part. But my mindset throughout this whole thing has been the same. Just, guys, just, like, relax. Like, it's okay. Like, okay, things are different, but just everything's gonna be fine. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. Trust me, because if you get hit by a car today, like in another 30 minutes, it's coronavirus is not a big deal, right? You're not thinking about that. If you can't breathe, if somebody's holding your breath, if you're drowning, you're not thinking about coronavirus. So I'm being a little extreme, but there's other things that are important in life that we have to remember for ourselves, and not let our lives become this coronavirus thing.
Have you added any routine, like a new habit? Have you started new habit during this period because you have like a 3 extra days to work on yourself, right?
Yeah, so I just been it's a lot of time just by myself, just thinking. At work, there's nothing going on at work, barely. So there's a
Okay.
lot of time where you just, like, you know in the trains you're by yourself, so you can walk slower, you can think, things like that. Here at work, just being with the family, spending time with them, being present, being intentional. I guess the big takeaway here would be being intentional with your time, right?
Yes.
So if you're working on yourself, work on yourself. Don't be on your phone. If you are with the family, be with the family. Now I have a baby, right? He's 11 months,
Yes.
11 months old. So when I'm with him, right? That's him right there.
Awesome. like, is he started walking? Is
Not yet. He's moving more. He's
okay.
turning over. He's sitting up. Things like that. He's dragging himself, but not walking or crawling just yet.
Okay. Okay. How is your wife?
She's doing good right now. She was just yelling at me because she wants to eat breakfast.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
but that's why I was like, oh, let's just do it now, since I had the time and you had the time. So, but she's good. She's good.
Yeah.
Um, taking care of the baby. She's awesome, man. She's a hard worker.
Awesome. And like, what you have learned, because like you gave that like a break for 2 months, right? So, what are your thoughts during that time, and like why you started again?
You're talking about YouTube?
Yes, like yeah.
So the thing with YouTube, so here's the thing, right? Oh, sorry about that. So here's the thing, right? The thing with my content in general,
Mm-hmm.
this is why I'm going through this whole revamping thing and trying to just make sure I'm doing, I guess, the right thing and going in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
In a way, I'm grateful that this happened, but what was happening was that I was posting a lot of, for example, like a quote, like a success quote, right? And then I would do a
Yes,
tweet.
I'm seeing on
Yeah.
LinkedIn and Twitter.
And I would post like a rant, like me just talking about something for a minute or two. The problem with that is that um, I'm still somebody on the road, right? I'm still somebody kind of like fighting to quote unquote become successful. So me posting those type of things, in a way, I was doing it because I wanted to create the content, and you always hear, right, especially from people like Gary Vee, like
Yes.
create content, post it. The thing was that it wasn't really me, right? It wasn't like my truth. It wasn't. It was just like a normal success thing. So I started to think, how do I feel when other people like myself, right, that they probably live in their basement with their mom or something, and they post a success quote, like, what the hell does this guy know about success? Now, that's not really what I'm trying to say about myself. Like, it doesn't mean that I don't know anything. Of course, I've known a lot, and I've learned. I have an interview show, and I've met some amazing people that you know.
Yes.
People like Evan Carmichael and Greg S. Reid and Chad Highness,
Patrick,
right? Patrick Bet David. So
David
these are people
Meltzer.
that you know. These are people that they do things like this, like success quotes, and because it comes off better. But as me, I have to what I'm working on now, and I have a couple of people helping me with this. People that are experts in this stuff is redefining my mission statement, redefining how I'm going to distribute my content, and then focusing again on my interview show. Because what happened was I was focusing on my interview show, then I did my TEDx talk, and after I did my TEDx talk, then I not really, but a little bit. I'm like, oh, I can start posting things like success quotes and stuff like that. But it wasn't really rubbing off the right way for people and the right way for me. So that's why I'm gonna stop that. And then YouTube, same thing, just clarifying myself. That's why I started the weekly vlogs,
Yes,
the
weekly
weekly journey,
blogs. Yeah.
because I think it's just better. It saves more time. It's more effective. So I got that. I think I will never stop doing the journeys, the vlogs, just because you can resemble so much from watching that, and then you
It
can
is
look
like
back
a
at it.
reminder to yourself. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, just doing that, focusing on interviews. I just booked a couple of interviews here that some big time people, a former Major League Baseball player. I got Frank Shankwitz again, the one of the founders of Make a Wish Foundation,
Awesome.
and and I got so Greg S. Reid. He produced a movie,
Oh,
and
okay.
it was trending on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
And the lead actor in the movie, I just booked an interview with him. His name is
Awesome.
Andrew Steele. So yeah, just focusing on the interview show, working really hard in that, and then using that as the main thing so that I can branch out to other things and distribute my content like that.
Like, how are you contacting them? Is it through Instagram, Twitter, or any other way? Like,
I love this question, and this is something that I'm gonna start maybe having a class over or a Zoom call with people or something. I don't know, but yeah, just reaching out. I'm gonna break it down very simple just to save some time. But when it comes to trying to contact these people,
mm-hmm.
the thing that you should remember is a couple of things, but just remember to be honest, have humility, and be authentic, right? If you don't have the numbers on social media, Don't try to act like you have the numbers on social media. Just be like, listen, I know that you probably will say no to somebody like me just because I don't have the numbers, but I would love to do an interview with you. This is the road I'm on. This is what I'm trying to learn. I'm only asking for 5 minutes. That's it, plain and simple. Now that's that. That's kind of like the core message. You can write it to your own version, but that's the message. When it comes to actually targeting where to reach them at, what you want to do is look at all their social media platforms. Right, so let's take Reid for example. Go on Instagram, go on LinkedIn, go on Facebook, go everywhere, YouTube, and then figure out how you can contact them. Send the DM, like all of them. Send the DM, send the email, send the Facebook message. If there's a number, make the call. If there's like a company like info
Email.
at whatever, send that email as well. Send it everywhere before you make the call. Like if there's a number, before you make the call. Then you make the call. Let's say somebody picks up. You say, hey, I have sent the email. This is what I want to do. I want to interview, because they're going to ask you, oh, can you send us some information? You already did that. You already beat them. So they can look at it, and then hopefully you can get the interview with that person. But you want to reach out to a lot of people, right? You don't just
Yes.
want to reach out to one best-selling author, because they might say no. But if you reach out to 50 people, you might get 5 or 10 that say yes. And the better you get at it, you might get more people that say yes, right? But there's something that you will learn throughout time. The reason, and then last point with this, the reason you want to look at all the platforms is that, let's say Greg has 500,000 on Instagram, right? So it might be hard for him to reply to a DM on Instagram, because there might be a lot of people that reach out to him there. But let's say you go on Facebook, and I don't know what he has on Facebook, but he has, for example, I don't know, 5,000 people that like his page. Okay, let's go on LinkedIn. Maybe he has 1,000 connections. Okay. All right, cool. So, or Twitter. Maybe Twitter, he has 500 people that follow him. I don't know. So you're like, okay, there's lower people that follow him there. I can contact him through there, and there's a higher chance of him actually replying back to my email or my message or whatever. Now and then, once in a while, you do get people that they reply no matter what. Like they could have 1 billion people and they will reply. And Reid is one of those people. I actually sent him an email when I read his book for the first time, for the third time. I'm sorry. And then 5 minutes later, he gave me a call and he said, how may I serve you? So that's how I go about contacting people and interviewing them.
Thank you for sharing. And like, how?
One more thing,
Okay.
which is really effective. And this is how I just booked one of my interviews. Go on Twitter, right? Go on Twitter. Whoever you want to interview, you go on their page. Or prior to doing that, make a video. Hey, Greg, my name is blah, blah, blah. I want to interview you. I sent you an email. Would love to hear from you. Have a great day. Right? 20, 30 seconds. You go to their page on Twitter. You hit the tweet button. You write a quick message. Would love to interview you. You upload them. It's tagged to them. And I think it's easier on Twitter to do something like that because they can see it. It's more visible, I guess. For some reason, that's how it works on Twitter, and it's very effective. So definitely something that you can do.
One of your video in the past, like.
Oh, you saw it?
Yes, I saw it.
Yeah. Just simple. You don't have to think about it. It takes 3 seconds, and that's it.
Okay. Like, how do you prepare for the questions to ask in the interview?
So, I normally like to interview people that I really want to interview. I don't just try to interview somebody that just to interview and make the content, because I have found myself in the past interviewing people, and then in the middle of the interview, I'm like, what in the world am I doing interviewing this person, right?
Okay.
So I'm already like checked out. So that's that. But when it comes to the actual interview, before I was doing this minimum, like maybe a couple hours of research on them. Maybe I read a book, or maybe a couple talk like that. But I think that the more research you do, the more uh, books that they have wrote and you read them, the more whatever interviews you've seen. Let's say 5 to 10 hours. I think that's fair. The better the interview would be, because then you can go ahead and kind of like, you know, their story, but you can say, hey, um, before we get into your story, I would love to know who was Chad. Who was Chad in high school? You know, who if we were in class, who are you? Who are you like? And that's how I started the interview. So that was a cool little segment, and then we went into his story. And for somebody like that, that's so big, right? Like Chad, you don't really have to spend so much time in tell me about your story, right? Because there's so many books out there. He's a 6-time
Yes.
author. So many talks, so many interviews that people can just do a simple research and they're gonna know. So what you want to do is just, what do I want to learn from this interview? Don't just do dumb questions like, how do you build self-discipline? Like, you know that, I know that, right? And I did this
Yes.
before. I used to do this before. Like, I used to ask questions for my audience, and it was just like, I know the answer. A lot of people know the answer. Like, why am I asking this question? So what you want to do is just really like make sure you know a lot about them, so that you can go ahead and pick, oh wait, you went through a divorce, oh, I'm about to get married, what did you learn from that? You know, it's just an example,
Okay.
but that's what you want to do.
Sure.
Ask them things that you want to learn, not just questions to make the content.
Okay. Like after watching your interview with Chad, I bought his ebook, Kindle ebook.
Oh, you bought it? Yeah. Nice. That's awesome.
I'm excited to start reading it. I bought like
Yeah,
a,
it's a great book.
yeah,
I read it a few times myself, so it's definitely a great book.
awesome. And thank you. Like, how was your experience talking on a TEDx stage?
So it was fun. It was very fun.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you might think this is funny, but when I spoke on TEDx stage,
Mm-hmm.
that was the easy part. That
Okay.
was when I that was when I had the most fun,
Mm-hmm.
because I even going back to when I was a teenager, I always liked being in front of people. I like being the center of attention. I like speaking in front of people. I was class president in my high school senior year, so um, that was fun. But the hard part, the scary part, where I had the most fear and nervous, was the preparation, especially in the first few days and few weeks and the first month, right? It was like 3 to 4 months of preparation, because I
Oh,
had to memorize a talk. First of all, I had to write a talk.
okay.
And the first time I wrote the first rough draft, I wrote like 10 rough drafts. The first one I did, it was like maybe 3 minutes. And I thought I killed it. I thought like I was the man. When George, the guy that was helping me and in charge of the event, he read that, he said, okay, we're gonna have to work on this, and we're gonna have to, that's when I knew, okay, this is gonna be something that I'm not used to, and something that it's gonna make me work. So I did like 10 or 8 rough drafts. And then on top of that, I had to memorize. Imagine that, memorizing 14-minute talk. I could barely memorize my name, but I memorized a sentence, and then a paragraph, and then a page, and then 2 pages, and then I knew the whole talk, right? I kept doing it and doing it in the shower, in the train, at home, at work. Sometimes I would zone out and I would just try to rehearse. And then I got it down so packed, right? I knew the whole talk so well that I started to test myself, and I would tell my wife's son to like tell me 2 words in the middle of a talk, like of the paragraph, and I had to pick it up from there. And then I
Okay.
had to do the talk backwards. So all that, it got easier towards the talk, right? But that was when it was really scary. It was just memorizing it, the like, whoa, all these pages, oh my God. But you break it down. That's why it's important to break down a goal, because when you break down a goal, you can understand it more, right? Okay, I can do a paragraph, but when you show me 4 pages in one day, that's a little,
Yes.
that's like, whoa. But you got 4 months. So break it down. I went to work. And then it became fun, right? It became fun. I documented a lot of the TEDx thing I did, the working from the shower and the stairs in my job and things like that, rehearsing. So it became fun. I had fun. I guess that was the important part. I had fun. TEDx was easy. The stage was easy. I ate that up. The crowd loved it. It was 300 people. I had fun, and then that's
And
it. It's gone.
I also saw your makeup. You're wearing.
Yeah, I had to do the makeup, so I enjoyed. Here's the important part: you have to learn to be happy and enjoy the pursuit of what you want, the journey, because it was only 14 minutes long. That's it. 14 minutes long. Then you walk off the stage, and then it gets uploaded to their page. They have like 25 million subscribers, and that's it. That's it. What are you going to live from that TEDx talk your whole life? No. So you have to learn to enjoy the actual journey, and this is just one story, right? With TEDx, I have so many other stories with like taking a 36-hour bus to go interview Evan Carmichael, and
Yes.
the sleepover with Greg S. Reid, which I'm not going to get into, but that was fun and that was interesting, and that was fun to me. The interview when I did Greg S. Reid, this was like a few years ago, so I was really nervous. I wasn't as skilled as I am now in the interviews, but that I was really nervous. But the whole like sleeping
Reaching
over,
out to,
yeah,
yes,
reaching
reaching
out,
out.
reading his book, taking the flight to California, that was fun, and I enjoyed that.
Yes, it's like a story.
Yeah.
Yes. And also, like after your TED Talk, you met Evan Carmichael, and he said TEDx Talk is nothing before your mission. Yeah.
There's nothing. There's nothing. So, and trust me, I'm not trying to say that because I did a TEDx talk, I'm the man or I'm successful now. That's not what I'm trying to say, but it was cool. It does give me a little bit of credibility, right? It does give me like, oh, I did a TEDx talk, which is pretty cool. These are
Yes.
things that are given in colleges, and these are things that a lot of people look
It can be used as a starting point.
at, but now it's time to get to work and to do the next interview, to do the next talk, to speak at this event, to speak at this high school and work from there.
Awesome. And these are all the questions that I have in my mind. And yeah,
It was fun talking to you.
Yeah. Do you want to share your last thoughts?
Well, listen, I had fun, and this is the way to do it, right? Again, I'm not saying that I'm better than you or that you are better than me. It's
like
makes no sense.
Learning process.
But
Yeah.
this is the way to do it. You go ahead, you put in the work, like you're doing right now. We can meet in person because the whole coronavirus,
Yes.
but you're not using that as an excuse, and we're still doing this via Zoom, via the internet, via online, virtually. So just keep this up, keep reaching out, do these interviews, but most importantly, apply what you learn, and that's it.
Sure. And like, what is your final goal? Like, is there any specific thing you want to reach?
Well, that's a great question. I don't really believe in like a final goal, because whenever we attain something, we want more, right? It's normal. It's not wrong to do that. It's totally fine. But if I was forced to give an answer, this is what I want. I want to become a sought after speaker. I want to become a thought leader in what I'm doing. But really, I want to build this interview show, and this is what I'm focusing on again. This is how everything started, and this was how I had the most success in these last 4 years, right? Building this interview show, learning how to distribute that information to teach other people and help them, right? And that's it. Just establishing my presence in that area as a thought leader, and that's pretty much it. Being on top of being a good husband, being a good father, taking care of my health, things like that.
That's it. Like, how is your gym time? I saw like you gave some break to that.
I hate that you ask this question, but I have to do it because I got to be honest. Listen, I completely fell off. I started out strong the beginning of the year, but I lacked the self-discipline. Didn't keep my word, and my weight is back up. But trust me, it's gonna happen. I know eventually. I've done this before, and I know I can do it again.
Yes.
The thing to remember is that I just have to continue doing this and not stop after a while.
Thank you so much, Carlos. Thank you.
You're welcome, right? It was a
Yes.
pleasure.
Thank you.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
There's a difference. I want to do it and I want to be a rock star, right? Like, and that's where you influence people. Like, you know, like I want to do it, but I also want to be the most popular. And so then that person's like, oh, I want to be him. So I guess I'll be nice. Like I want to literally take people who have DNA that's kind of nice and make them more nice